Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance Channel's Romance Roundup, your number one source for romance book recs and book-to-screen recap reviews. I am Liz Donatelli.
And I'm Libby Kay, author of the romance series Pine Grove FD.
Watch Romance Roundup on Reader Seeks Romance Channel on YouTube and listen on all podcast apps. Follow us on Instagram at Libby K Author and at Reader Seeks Romance. Libby and I are talking about Quinn app audio erotica series, The Snake Handler, The Bodyguard, and Morally Gray. Libby, we have lots to discuss today.
I know, it's quite the agenda.
It is. We're very ambitious. Let's start with the Quinn audio app, which I have a love-hate relationship with at this point. We've reviewed Quinn audio eroticas before, Ember and Ice with Hudson Williams and Connor Story. We did, who was the other dude we did?
The Muse with Tom Blythe from, or is it Blythe? Well, you know who I mean, from People We Meet on Vacation.
That's right. I did some research, and the way that Quinn app describes their audio narration is self-insert.
Oh my.
So we kept saying it was like a one-sided phone call. There's like a single narrator, and there's the love interest is like silent. It's supposed to be us. So it's considered self-insert, where the speaker talks directly to the listener for the purpose of fantasy. And apparently, in many cases, according to the comments section on this app, self-pleasure.
I think they're taking self-insert stories a little too far, if you get my meaning. Wink, wink.
Yes. There's a lot of comments, as you pointed out to me off camera, in caps, in which it seems as if people might have been like in the throes of passion or just finishing, and then commenting about how great the storytelling is, because all the narrators really have smooth, buttery, sexy voices for the most part. Yeah. Just FYI, I listened to each episode of these series ranging between 1 1/4 and 1 3/4 speed.
Oh, giddy up. I listened to The Bodyguard at 2 times speed because ain't nobody got time for that.
I did too, and I really couldn't understand what was happening. Each episode is around, what would you say, 17 to 33 minutes?
Yes, most of them I would say average a half hour.
Yeah. And then there's between 2 and 3 episodes per series.
Yes.
And you're right, I didn't have time because they speak very slowly. Which
I
guess,
oh my gosh. Yeah. Before I realized you could change the playback speed, I was like, this is going to be my whole weekend.
The Snake Handler.
So The Snake Handler is narrated by Rob Roush, and apparently he is in fact an American snake wrangler.
Oh, I didn't know that. So this is based on something he is able to do.
When I read the title, The Snake Handler, I thought this was a sexual double entendre. The snake handler for like a phallus handler, like something like that.
Well, especially with the self-insert description.
Right. It's like, oh, put this snake inside of you. Wink, wink. So, and apparently this guy, Rob Roush, who is this snake wrangler and narrates The Snake Handler, he was also on reality television.
Yes.
He appeared as a contestant on the 5th and 6th seasons of the Peacock dating show, Peacock Snake Handler. Anyway, Love Island USA in 2023 and 2024, and start on the 4th season of The Traitors.
Yes, I saw that when I was Googling him because, I put on my librarian hat and needed to realize who these men are. Because he had that face, and again, the pictures that they have on the app are meant to be stylized. So I get, what they're trying to do here. But I'm like, why does he look familiar? And I'm not a big reality TV person. So I was surprised that he looked as familiar as he did, considering I haven't watched those shows.
Yeah, he did look, he looked familiar to me, although I haven't watched those shows either. But when I saw the tattoo, he has a big tattoo of a snake. I was like, oh, wow, they must have painted that on that guy for the
Yeah.
picture, not realizing it's his real tattoo. But basically, this guy is like a hermit living at this snake sanctuary, and he's a recluse. And this woman's car breaks down right nearby, and he takes her in, and they start like a 24-hour love affair in which it ends with her saying, I want to live with you forever, and he saves her from a snake.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. No notes. Next episode.
Yeah. Now, I mean, first of all, what did you think? I did not care for the twang. He has this like, what would you say, Southern twang?
It was definitely a Southern accent, and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the Southern twang. I
Oh,
felt like, and this one, I was out of the three, I believe this was the only one that was 2 episodes and not three, that we're
yes.
going to talk about. So I felt like this did not need to be more than two, even though there wasn't much plot. I did like the, twangy guitar music or banjo music at the beginning and his accent. I felt like that painted the picture of middle of nowhere, Alabama. And I've been to middle of nowhere, Alabama, and I wish I would have seen a handsome snake wrangler or handler or whatever we're calling him.
Yeah. So it's interesting you mentioned the music, because the music throughout all these series, the music is exceptional. Like it's
Yes, it
really,
really
really
sets the
good.
tone.
It does. The music does a lot of heavy lifting,
Yes.
narratively speaking. Let's just leave it at that. Being you liked that twang, would you say that the characters in your Pine Grove FD series set in Georgia, do you envision them when you write the characters as having a little bit of that type of twang?
Yes, definitely, which obviously I do not because I am not from the South. But that was one of the things that surprised me when we lived in Georgia. And again, we lived on the border to Alabama. So we went into Alabama a lot. And that was one of the things that surprised me is how cute sometimes and how charming other times that Southern accent could be. So since I'm currently in the throes of editing a Pine Grove FD book, I'm kind of in that like Southern mindset. And I think that's why this one hit a little different is I enjoyed hearing Rob Roush's twang on this one.
Okay, yeah. Now, as far as the sexual moments, which there are many, I think we need to rate these audio erotica dramas by believability as far as
Yeah,
sexual performance.
yeah.
Because we've done a few of them, and I feel like if we're going to continue recapping, reviewing, we need to like break them down by sexual performance and voice, like just the smoothness, the sexy quality of their voice.
People are listening to these episodes, for sexual reasons. And, Goofy here is sitting there with my notebook, like, ooh, that was hot. I'm gonna write that down. The two things I wrote down in my little notebook of smut was when he said, just use me, giddy up, and good girl. Because every time he said that with that Southern accent, I'm like, okay, didn't know I needed this in my life, but apparently I do.
Yeah, good girl works with an accent. It doesn't matter what
Yes.
accent. It has to be an
Yes.
accent though.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, that's interesting. Yes, I too was taking copious notes. I was moving my fingers across a keyboard, whereas many others were moving their fingers along their bodies while listening. So it's interesting that we're approaching this almost from an academic standpoint.
Yes. I feel like we're doing like book reports back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, yes, we are. Now, I do admit that after back-to-back listening experiences, I did cancel my subscription to end May 1st. So unless some really known actor that I'm interested in, like Tom Hardy, voices one of
Ooh.
these, I probably won't resubscribe.
The only one that's coming up that I'm interested in, and not necessarily, I don't know who the actor is yet. I think they're announcing it this week, but they're doing a Yes Chef, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I kind of need to know what's going on with that one.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
I think the two of us being the we I'm talking about, lucked out that the first episodes we listened to were the Ember and Ice with HUD because I liked having the dual narration. It was still light on plot, but for me, it just felt like more of a complete story to hear from both sides.
Yeah.
And in all three of the ones, and again, I know that's the whole point of this. But for me, I just felt like I wanted just a tiny bit more plot, and especially since we are only getting that one side of the story. So, of course, having said that, the snake handler, there wasn't much else to say other than why would you stay in middle of nowhere, Alabama for a guy you've known for a day?
I view these as the typical porn pizza guy delivery plot. You
Yes,
know,
yes. And here I am trying to make it a full-length story.
we're trying to get something of substance out of this.
Yeah.
And also, okay, a lot of people that I've seen writing on different online forums for Quinn app are saying, hey, like, where is the dual narration? So I wonder if eventually they will add dual narration, because I don't think that'll necessarily take away from the fantasy if you're using it for those purposes. I did start to listen to a threesome one where it's two guys and a girl. So I was like, there's got to be like another voice or something.
Something.
Still no female narration because that's supposed to be you. You're the character. But they had the two guys, it was the same narrator, but he had a different affectation. He was like
Oh,
talking a certain way. And then he went, when he was the other guy, he was like whispering. I was like, oh, he's supposed to be the other guy. So it was
okay.
him performing two different characters. Back to the snake handler. I guess we're kind of done with that.
The thing I was wondering, and I thought this with all of them, I'm curious out of all the, and I'm assuming because, like you said, this seems to be an app geared towards women mostly. How many of these women are audiobook fans, and how many are just looking for that like short form entertainment slash basically audio porn? Like and again, there's no, I don't know how to find that out, but I was just curious. Like I'm coming into this as a avid and sometimes rabid audiobook fan. And so I like having something on while I'm driving or, putzing around the house. So I was just obviously not this because, I start giggling like an idiot. And then my husband's like, what are you doing over there? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I think the app is getting more audiobook fans than
Okay.
just people looking for material to get off,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
yeah, I don't think this would necessarily be the first place they should go or would go for that.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
I wasn't sure.
Hi, viewers and listeners. This is a postscript to the conversation. I found an interview on Prof G Markets podcast with Quinn app tech founder Caroline Spiegel. Here's a clip.
A little bit about Quinn is it's a place to listen to erotic stories, and they're short. So it's not like an audiobook romance novel. They're designed to really turn the user on and help the listener reach orgasm. And it's something kind of in between, right? Like this sort of romance novel that takes hours and hours to consume and sort of graphic visual pornography that doesn't appeal to women and doesn't really suit the modern consumer.
The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard, narrated by Tyreek Withers, who has the smoothest, buttery voice. I was very taken by his voice.
Yes.
Actually, of the three, I feel like he had probably the best voice, but I'll share with you who I thought did the best performance.
Ooh, I think we're going to be on the same page with that as well.
Okay. So a little bit about the Bodyguard. There's a special agent protecting a U.S. diplomat who's attending a high-stakes economic summit in Paris. And she has
Who
something
knew economics could be so stressful?
Well, that's just it. They didn't mention about her knowing climate change. So I don't know if like there was climate change discussions at this economic summit. And he has to keep reminding himself that she's your asset, not your date. And I thought that this had a lot of personality. It was a little bit of excitement because apparently her whereabouts were compromised or something, and someone came after her, or he thought she was kidnapped.
I
don't
did
know.
not understand.
know.
Did she willingly leave the hotel room with that person? Was
I
she
don't
taken
know.
against her will? Because I felt like there was a lot of buildup to, like, oh my God, she's missing. And then it's like, oh, she's right over there and it's fine.
Yeah, maybe this is when I probably should have slowed down the speed to kind of catch what was happening. But at that point, like put it this way, after you watch the first episode, you're like, okay, I've had enough. They've had crazy sex. It's like, if you're just looking to get off, like, that's it. Then you're like, okay, what's the second episode? And then there was the third episode. I was like, okay. They were drawing it out, and I feel like it was a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Well, at least plot-wise.
Insert sound effect here.
What I liked is that he helped her through anxiety. There was
Yes.
like turbulence and he was helping her. And I even wrote down that that scene was written in such a way that the self insert wasn't so awkward. I almost feel like if I'm truly on a plane having a panic attack, I would probably turn that on where he's talking her through it.
Yes.
Like, honestly, I think forget about this audio erotica. There should be like an anxiety app, which I guess is kind of like the Calm app, but having these sexy guys talk to you
Yes.
about breathing
Exactly.
techniques. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the walking sounds in The Bodyguard I found particularly clunky.
And well, obviously, and you've already mentioned this, the kissing in all of these is just like, I don't know. It gives me the ick. Like it just
Yeah.
feels very like I don't even like
Well,
when it happens, like I find myself cringing.
it sounds like
Like, and
like
that's what I want to know. Are they just sitting in the studio, like, like
yeah.
making weird sound effects, or is there an actual Foley artist? And I don't want to know what they're using to do what, but
Oh my God. If there's a Foley artist position for that, I want to do that. I'd have so much fun making those noises. This reminds me. In college, I was a radio DJ, and my friends and we recorded what we called the orgasm tape in the studio. And we're making noises and noises. Okay, this then was labeled, and people inserted these sound effects throughout their, their radio
broadcast?
show. Yeah, and they were putting it in between songs and as a background. So much so that it became a problem. And it was removed from the radio station. But here's the thing, the people who helped us record this never told a soul who it was. Like nobody knew it was us.
oh, I love that.
Yeah. So we didn't get into trouble, but the radio station got into trouble. So all that to say, I could really do a bang up job as a Foley artist, making the noises for these audio eroticas.
There you go, Quinn, if you're listening.
Yeah, I need to do that. Needs to be my next job. Apparently, at one point, and I wrote this down, I guess it impressed me, the woman, or should I say me, because I guess I'm
Or the asset,
Yeah.
or ma'am. God, if he called her ma'am one more time, I'm like, no. Good girl, yes. For me, ma'am, hell no.
Yeah. Now, of course, he was saying ma'am because like it was like professional. He was like, ma'am, because he's protecting her. He's the bodyguard. And apparently he looked as like, oh, you like when I call you that. So then he starts doing it. I did not like that. I didn't
No.
like that was a bit much. Ma'am, or me and you, because we're all characters. All the women who listen to us are characters. We all got stuck to a curtain. She was trying to open a curtain and got stuck and fell, and she had a curtain rod wound that he attended to. And I wrote in caps, that's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't matter to me about him, doing sweeps of the room to make sure she's safe. I was like, she got cut in a curtain rod. He helped her out. And
yeah, no, that was nice. I also thought like, what a klutz, but yeah, I guess that's the point, is to show the it's like a very micro hurt comfort, because it was like for 2 seconds.
Yes, they have tropes on a small scope.
Maybe these are supposed to be the equivalents of like one night stands. You scratch an itch, you move on. Like, I don't know. There's no like, and again, that's not the point of them, or I would be on Audible listening to a full length book. But I feel like this one, The Bodyguard, I appreciated that there was like, she was taken. There was, a little bit of, not intrigue, but like action and storyline. But again, she was found so quickly, and not like I expected there to be like a torture scene or something, but I thought like, surely we'll find out who took her. But it was like, nope, got her. Everything's okay. Let's go back to the hotel and have sex again.
Right. Yes, I know. I mean, they could have done better because they started off strong. They started off strong, and then it just kind of got like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Being he chose to go to Paris for his promotion and take a job there, they kind of like lightly alluded to the fact that they would continue their relationship because somehow she was moving to Paris for a job or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Or maybe he just really likes croissants.
Croissant!
Okay, so here comes my favorite.
Morally gray.
Morally Gray, narrated by Costa D'Angelo, which Great name, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought he had a good voice,
Mm-hmm.
not as good as Tyreek, but a good voice. But this dude, Costa, nailed every single sex scene.
Yes.
His
Yes.
performance was outstanding.
Yes. As I mentioned to you off camera, I listened to these in the order we're discussing them, and I think I frankly got Quinn fatigue. I basically binged them all in a day, and I'm like, okay, I can't take anymore. And so Morally Gray, I started listening to it. I'm like, okay, I get the idea. And then you and I were talking, and I'm like, all right, let me try again. And I'm very glad I did because with a few days in between episodes, I was like, all right, I'm here, I'm on board, and the kissing sound still made me cringe, but yeah, all of his sex sound effects, for lack of a better word, were spot on. No notes.
Yeah, I wrote, I mean, in caps, he is the most convincing. Dirty talk. There were sounds of wetness in
Yeah, there
I think
were.
that's like that's their trademark. Is that
Yeah.
there's the sounds of wetness and just friction.
Ooh, that
Um
very good descriptors. Yes.
yes. And there is a scene towards the end. So I should backtrack a little bit. Basically, in Morally Gray, narrated by Costa D'Angelo, Sebastian is a fixer for a New York real estate empire tasked with breaking up his brother's engagement to a woman he hasn't known for long and doesn't have a prenup with.
Hmm.
And, first of all, this guy takes a lot of showers in this series.
Oh my God, half the episodes were showers.
It was him always taking showers. But what was interesting is there were like two interesting twists to the storytelling, which I did not expect.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
thought it was interesting with this one that we actually, and again, I'm fine either way. But the fact that there was actual like a scene with him having a conversation with the dad,
Yeah.
not that we hear it both sides, but it felt like they actually had involvement because everything else with all the other ones, not just these that we've listened to this time, it feels like it's very you don't have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like you don't understand
Yeah.
what the other person's getting at
You
beyond
don't.
maybe a, whatever, see you later type conversation.
Right. The scene that I loved was when Sebastian wants to I don't even remember what her name was. Maya? Was it Maya?
Maya, yeah.
Maya. He wants to fuck Maya from behind against a window in his brother's fancy apartment and wants to leave her handprints on the glass, which I thought was pretty hot.
Yes.
And and the not only the active sex noises were good, but he also had like post-coital after there was the climax. I assume it was mutual. We don't hear any moans from her. Like then he's just still coming off of it and he just keeps saying
Yes.
I was like sounding as if he was truly coming down from the sexual adrenaline rush. I was like, this guy either truly was getting off in the sound booth as he did this, or he's just excellent at acting. So far, out of all the ones I've listened to, and that includes Ember and Ice and The Muse, I still feel like Morally Gray was more compelling to me. And I don't know if it's because of the story and because this guy just gave
Yeah.
good stellar audio sex. Like,
His voice, his sex sounds, everything about it, that I think is my favorite as well. I will say, I think I would have liked Ember and Ice better if it wasn't fantasy, because that's not my go-to. And
Yeah.
so anything, I don't even remember. Were they fae? Was that what they were? I remember they had
Yeah,
wings.
they're fan.
I think the reason I liked that more at the time was just because it was Connor and Hudson. And like I said, I liked that it was both of their perspectives at the same time. So that felt more like just a short audio novella
Yeah.
than this what was I already forgot what it was called again. Self-insert story. So, but
Self-insert narration.
yeah, I will say I definitely think Costa D'Angelo, I mean, knocked it out of the park. And I'm glad I went back and actually like paid attention when I was listening because I'm like, well, if Liz says this is her favorite of all of them.
Yeah, no, I really responded well to his voice. And when I say that, I don't mean that I was naked at any point while listening.
Hey, I'm Costa D'Angelo, and I am narrating a new story. So grab your headphones Listen to Morally Gray.
Only on Quinn.
Well, it's time to mosey on out of here. Thanks for joining us, romance readers.
Happy reading, everyone.